Hi guys, Crystal here from Crystal Design. I'm working on a new cardigan pattern that uses the spider stitch. So I thought I'd work up a quick little tutorial for you, starting with a slip knot on my hook. I have a 6mm hook here and I'm working with Red Heart Amore yarn, which has been really nice to work with, very soft. And I need an odd number for my starting chain. So for this tutorial, I'm just going to do a length of 9. Then for my foundation chain, I need to add 2 to that. So I'm chaining 11 here to work this little stitch. Now, this is one of those patterns that you work into the turning chain, so it's helpful to have stitch markers to mark that as you go. All right, so we're going to work into the 3rd chain from our hook, and I'm going to work into the back of the chain. I'm going to place a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, all in the same chain. Okay, so let's see, we have our single, our chain, and our single. Here's my turning chain here, so I'm going to mark that spot so I can keep up with it easily. I'm going to skip 1 chain and then I'm going to repeat that stitch. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. You want to try to refrain from pulling your chain ones too tightly because that's where we're going to be making our row 2 and on stitches. Skip the next, go into that next stitch, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, all in the same chain. Just keep repeating that down, skip 1. When you get to the end, you're going to skip 1 chain and single crochet into the last. Okay, then we'll be ready to turn. Alright, so to start row 2, we're going to chain 2, and remember we're going to be working into our turning chains. So one of those chains is counting essentially as a single crochet. So we want to keep marking those until you get familiar with working into the ends, the turning chains, if you're not already. Now we are going to work into our chain 1 space, and we'll always now be looking at the back of our row. So if you turn it to the top, you can see more easily what you're used to seeing, your stitches. You have your ending single crochet we just did here. Then for the spider stitch, we have our single, chain, single. So into this middle is where we're going to be working. So we'll always be looking here. So we are going to insert our hook right here. And that's our chain 1 space. And we're going to do another spider. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. So we're just stacking them on top of each other. Okay, so we have our chain 2, and then we skipped that single crochet. We went into our chain 1 space and did a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Now we're going to repeat that. We're going to skip the next single crochet and work right here into our chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Skip the next 2 single crochets actually, and then into the chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Then we're going to end our row. Our turning chain from our starting chain is a little on the side there, so we got to keep an eye out for that one. So we're going to skip the next 2 single crochets. We're going into our chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. There we go. Now you're going to skip 1, the next single crochet, and into your turning chain you're going to place a single crochet. There you go. And you can see how that already pulls it up and straightens it out some on those edges. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Your row 2 is your repeat all the way across, but I know those start and finishes can be a little bit tricky. You can see the beautiful texture of this pattern working up already. Alright, so to start a row we have our chain 2, which does count. Okay, we want to move our stitch marker up to keep track of that until we get really familiar with the pattern. Then we are skipping over to our chain 1, right? So our chain 2 counts for this stitch. We'll skip our next single crochet, and into our chain 1 space we're going to add another single, chain 1, single crochet. Then we're going to skip 2 single crochets throughout the middle sections of our work. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and 2, all into that chain space. Skip the next 2 single crochets into our chain 1, next spider stitch, skip 2, okay, now we're at the end of our row here. We're skipping our single crochet and we have our 2 chains. Okay, so we're going to go into this chain 2. There's lots of different ways to crochet into the chain itself. I prefer in this kind of pattern to go under both top loops, which is actually the trickiest way to get in there. If that is just too much for you, don't worry about it. You can go through one loop, you can go to the chain space, you can go through the back loop, but I like how that fills the space. But it is a little work to get it in there. However you do it, just remember to single crochet into that turning chain. And then you turn, and you're just going to keep repeating that and building your work up. It's a beautiful stitch, and it creates a nice fabric that is more dense but still has a lot of drape and movement to it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you subscribe for more.